Hello, my virtual friends. My name is Catherine, also known as Miss Blue, and welcome back to Fare Thee Well. We're into the very last part, because I know this now, because I've already played the game and edited it, and this is me recording the intro to it, because as you remember from the previous two episodes, they were filled with horrible cuts. So yes, this is the last horrible cut you will see before we get back into Catherine from the past playing the game, so enjoy. December 2002. Right. Okay. A lone vocalist in a violet dress takes the stage at the Hearthen home. She appears to be close to Michael's age, who is now 24. Their girl gazes at expectant faces all around her. A hush falls over the crowd as she leans to the microphone. Her face betrays not a single emotion but pure wonder. Oh. Are we having another dance around this particular merry-go-round again, are we, sir? Like she's somewhere else, remembering better times, preparing to sing herself in a world that still stood to hang off her every word. The young woman starts to sing, and the meager audience is immediately captivated. She begins softly, but her voice is barely above a whisper. Oh, it's an Irish song, apparently. Come over the hills, my bonny Irish lass. Come over the hills to your darling. You choose the road, love, and I'll take the vow, and I'll be your true love forever. Her voice is beautiful and wraps around the dark air of the old bar. I know the song, I knew it well. I thought I heard the song better before, I admit. Red is the rose that in yonder garden grows. Fair is the lily of the valley. Clear is the water that flows from the Boyne. But my love is fairer than any. She has one of the best voices I've heard in all my life. I've only been this absorbed in song once before. The voice of the girl in blue dress grows and grows and grows, only to fill the air with one complete emotion, feelings seething with energy. Like her voice is an endless flowing spring, and you're listening to it as to drink and drink and drink again. It feels nice to feel this way one more time, even if it's not strongly. The girl in the blue dress continues to sing. While she finishes Red is the Rose and prepares for her next song, she takes a fateful step back from the microphone. Her skin beads with sweat, her chest heaves up and down to the rhythmic beat of her exhausted heart. This is very similar to what it was once before, that is for sure. Her posture is tired but proud, her breath short but ready, or steady in fact. Her eyes somber but bright and vibrant with fire. She steps back to the mic and keeps singing. Alrighty then, we're gonna have another round of this, are we? Across the bar stands the current employees of the Hearthen home, Candace and Michael, who has taken the job his mother once held to pay for his education. Candice and I are having a lovely conversation, but Michael's unwavering attention is set on the young performer. Hey Michael! Candice tries to grab her employer's attention, but has little success. Mike, hello in there. Candice gives a defeated sign and waves her hand in front of Michael's face, jolting him back to reality. Oh, sorry Candice, what do you need? Candice laughs at the young man. She's clearly embarrassed him, so it's no surprise that her face has become several shades redder than some of the wines in the bar. Table for four is wavering down for refills. Get out there, bud. Alright, I'm on it. Michael prepares several mugs of draft beer, loads them onto a tray and heads out to the floor. All the while he pays only minimal attention to his task, still smitten by the young singer. Ah, that's adorable. He reminds me of a story his father once told me. I know the story you mean, all too well. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. No, it's alright. Michael returns from his waiting duties. Candace gives him a good long stare, and he blushes again. I know she's pretty, but please do try to pay attention to our patrons, okay? Yes, ma'am. Candice laughs the way her father used to sometimes laugh, with her entire body, hands on her stomach and leaning back. It's a big old belly laugh there. Michael turns away from his boss and back to the singer. The young performer begins the verse of her last song. I remember one night in the dazzling rain, around my heart I felt an aching pain. Fare thee well, my honey, fare thee well. Roll credits. The song's end is met with a quiet yet suitable applause. Oh yes, lovely. Yes, well done. Right then. I have a feeling that we're nearing the end here, lads, I believe at least. I feel reminiscent about my similar experience in the very same bar 35 years prior, and smile in spite of myself. I propose the idea to the young man across the bar. Why don't you buy a drink after she finishes her set? That's ridiculous, I can't do that. I don't even know her. Oh man, you don't even know how you court someone. You don't have to know anyone to do anything. Apparently, you can just say, hey, let me buy you a drink. And then they're like, alright, fine then. Or they'll just be like, no, get away, and that'll be it. You just need to propose it first, and then they'll go for it. If that made any sense whatsoever. And how could asking possibly hurt? Besides, you don't need to know her to become friends. Yeah, there you go. That's put more eloquently. I'm not more than a stranger to her, though. Ha, now that is ridiculous. As my father would say, strangers are just friends you haven't met yet. But what if, Mike, you can make an excuse till the sun comes up and you're blue in the face, or you can ask the lady to have a drink with you. Michael stops his protesting and considers the words his companions have shared with him. For a moment he looks as though he plans to ignore the advice he has received. However, one quick glance at Candice can confirm that is not an option. I guess you guys are you're not giving me a choice, huh? Absolutely not. Now then, let's talk strategy. Candice and I share a laugh while Michael looks on, terrified of the prospect of what scheme Candice has in store. Mike, that's the end of our set. Go over there and ask her to join us. Candice, you sure this is a good idea? Of course it is. All my ideas are good ideas. If it were anyone else, I disagree. Come on, Michael. Get out of there. Live a little, buddy. Go, honestly. Michael closes his eyes, tenses his body, and hesitantly walks towards the stage. This ought to be good. We should be able to hear them from here. Well, you should be able to hear them from here. Sense of a damn hawk, I tell you. You flatter me. As Rosa finishes her final verse of her set, the dwindling crowd offers up a surprising applause. After the applause dies down, Michael approaches the stage with an ounce of reluctance. Rosa, who's gathering her things, notices him and welcomes him to it with a greeting, catching him somewhat off guard. Oh my gosh, she's nice, no way! Poor Michael, he'll never survive. Candice was right, I can hear them, though just barely. Oh, hello there, you work here, right? Hello, yes, I work here. That classic awkward Michael charm is second to none. Well, my name's Rosa, what about you? Oh, me, I'm Michael. Rosa tucks her hair back behind her ear. It's nice to meet you, Michael. Oh, she well likes him, that's exactly what's going on here. Yeah, you too. Rosa waves and begins to walk away. Oh, maybe not then. Wait, excuse me, Rosa? Rosa turns back to face Michael. Yeah, what is it? I was wondering if you're not too busy. Would you like to join me and my friends for a drink? Well, I haven't got any other plans, so count me in. Yay! He's doing it. It's all good. Michael is clearly surprised that the answer came so easily as it did. Really? Rosa stifles a giggle and smiles. I haven't got any other plans. I'm sure you and your friends will be fun. Michael's face lights up with joy. In that case, we're sitting right over here. What are they saying? Quiet, they're coming. Oh, Michael's laying down the moves, I can see. You're having too much fun with this. Candice lets a carefree laugh out. I'm not having enough fun. Hey guys, this is Rosa. After some quick introductions, Candice makes everyone drinks. These are all in the house. We all cheer for Candice's hospitality together. Thank you, Candice. That's too kind of you. I listen in as the other three around the table share their stories, occasionally pitching in my own experiences. Michael and Rosa are fast friends, and by the end of the first hour, the pair get along as if they know each other all their lives. The bar's patrons dwindle until there are only a few people left in the building, but even after everyone else is gone, we stay sharing stories of loss and hope and dreams and regrets. Rosa begins to tell her story, and in her eyes light up with childlike happiness. When I was younger, all I ever wanted to do was go to school and study music. It has always been my passion, so I worked at it. From that time I first saw a future in it until I had realized the dream. But the light in her eyes fades into a quiet sadness. Oh, when I finally made it to music school, it just didn't feel like I'd worked so hard for so long, year after year, but the accumulation of my childhood led me to disappointment. But I was still determined. Never that I couldn't seem to make my friends or do well in my classes. Music was still my passion, so everything else be damned. Rosa wipes a tear from her cheek. Oh. For all my efforts and determination, halfway through the first year I dropped out. I hit rock bottom. I've hated myself for quitting, but I never saw an alternative. I wasn't happy, and I sure as hell wasn't happy now. But I'm better than I was. So I can say with certainty that I don't regret making that decision. What I'm unsure about is where I'm going now. Now, are you a wanderer as well? Seems quite telling of this game to have a wandering female in this one. We've had twos now, so all I've had is my music and the will to keep moving forward. So since leaving school, I've been traveling wherever the music takes me. I hope that one day can lead me to true happiness. I guess for now I'm just along for the ride. Candice raises her glass. Well, hell, I'll drink to that. Rosa nods gratefully to Candice and returns to Michael. I guess I could understand some of these feelings. I finished school, but it hasn't really done me much good. As soon as I graduated, I came right back home to Cedar. I didn't just come back for my mother, of course. I had to, given her health these days. Oh no, that's where it's gonna get sad. That's when we have to talk about her again. But even if she were in good health, I know I'd still be back here. I kind of feel like I'm just sort of in this void, stuck between childhood and true adulthood. Something holding me back, but I don't know what it is. And I can't for the life of me figure out why. The idea that Michael was drawn back to Cedar makes me chuckle. In my experience, getting away from Cedar is one hell of a task. Not that Cedar is a bad place, mind you. It just has this pull, just for lack of a better word. Candice nods with agreement. Cedar's always been good to me and mine. Candice waves her hand over her shoulder, motioning to the empty hearth and home. The old girls in the family for 4 generations now. My father, granddad, and great-granddad all put their lives into this place, and I'll be damned if I don't do the same. But this life isn't for everyone. Maybe you just need to broaden your horizons, see some more of what's out there. Michael considers this for a moment. Maybe, but I haven't really felt like ever need to start somewhere else. Then is that what you're missing, Mike? Michael slumps in defeat. I honestly don't know. Out of the 3 of them, I can relate most to Rosa. She seems to feel like there isn't a place where she belongs. Even so, I can sympathize with Michael and Candice. But unlike myself and Rosa, Candice is very deeply rooted in Cedar. Though I grow to consider her a close friend, we're about as different can get. Michael reminds me of Emmeline, which of course comes to no surprise. He likes his life in Cedar, but he is mindful of the future and where it might take him. I look up from my empty glass, which I had been absent-mindedly turning over in my hand, and catch Rosa's eye. She curiously meets my gaze. So how about you? Do you have any grandiose dreams or aspirations? Any miserable failures that landed you where you are now? Haha, yeah, quite a few more than I'd like to count at this point. Geez, that's a question and a half for this guy. She narrows her eyes in suspicion. Clearly I piqued her interest. I used to be a lot like you, looking for somewhere that I could belong, going wherever the road took me. There's nothing wrong with that, no shame in whatsoever. It takes time to discover who you are, to find out who you want to be. So what advice can you give? Advice? I hardly think I'm qualified to give an advice anymore. I'm not concerned with qualifications, I just want to hear what similar mind has to tell me. In that case, the best thing I can offer you is this. The belonging that you're searching for, you may never find it. Where circumstances different, I might still be searching for it. What you can do that will make all the difference is really quite simple. Life is going to go on, regardless of what you do. Don't just let it happen. Take charge of your own life. Even though you may not find what you search for, it'll make things easier. I've always had trouble putting this into words. It's been in the back of my mind for as long as I can remember. But words always seem to fail me. I guess what I'm trying to say is that you aren't going to find what you're looking for if you are so caught up in your own search that you can't see what's in front of you. Rosa sits back in her chair, looking rather confused. I'm sorry if it doesn't make sense, but I'm not the best at speaking my thoughts. She shakes her head. No, I think I understand. Candice laughs her usual laugh. I have no idea what you guys just said, but I know you're probably right. Anyhow, it looks like we should all use another round. I'll be right back. As Candice goes to retrieve her drinks, my thoughts wander to Emmeline, as they often do. Tell me, Michael, how is Emmeline doing these days? Okay, good. I was going to say, don't tell me it just ended right there after all this nonsense. Hours pass. It's clear that we've all reached our limit. The clock behind the bar reads 3:36. Jesus. That really is late. My goodness, I didn't realize how late, well, early, it's gone. I should really get going. Rosa stands and puts on her coat. Thank you all for the wonderful evening. I'm truly grateful. Would you mind if I walked you back to your motel? Candy sneaks a wink and a thumbs up in my direction. I can't help but grin. Well, okay, that's very nice of you to offer. Oh, we're seeing a mirror image of what we once had. As the two prepare to leave, Candice begins to clean up while I lean back in my chair and stretch out my tired bones. Hey Rosa, would you just wait by the door? I'll be there in a minute. Sure. Michael's now standing in front of me. Alone, he turns to me. I just wanted to thank you. Tonight has been one of the most memorable nights of my life. It's all thanks to your encouragement. Aw, Michael, don't be like that. That's okay, you did it as well. There's no need to thank me, we all had a good time. I think it's time I left Cedar. I spent more time in this little town than I intended to. It's the first time I've ever came back somewhere. But now it's time to move on. Life will go on here just as it always was. My journey is far from finished. This place has taught me a lot, and I'd like to think that I've given something back. Though no other place will ever quite fill the gap Cedar will doubtlessly leave in my life. I have chose to make Cedar part of me, and I will trade that for anything. I wouldn't, in fact, trade that for anything. Maybe I don't need to thank you, but let me anyway. You've always been a good friend to me. Let me do the same for you. Michael extends his hand to me, and I take it in mine. We exchange a handshake, meaningful to each other in different ways. Thank you. Goodbye, Michael. I take a long look around the cozy bar being so familiar with. I see the tables and booths where Candy's loyal patrons gather after a long day's work. I see the bar where I first met Candice, and her father before her. I see the stage where I first saw Emmeline all those years ago, the same stage that Rosa just performed on a few hours ago. I close my eyes and breathe in the familiar sense of pine, fire, and alcohol. I will surely miss Cedar, I'll miss the hearth and home, I'll miss Candice, Michael, and now Rosa. I'll miss Emmeline. I'll miss them all, but I'll never forget them. I stand and walk over to the coat rack, which sits beside the door. My coat is now hanging alone. After putting my coat on, I start for the door, but I'm quickly hauled by the length of a broomstick being thrust in front of me. I know what you're about to do. I never expected you to stay forever. About 2 hours ago, I figured that would be your last night in Cedar. Candice looks very serious when compared to her normal, but more gleeful demeanour. Now, after seeing you just a moment ago, I'm certain. It's just time I moved on, Candice. I'm not going to argue that. I'm not going to stop you. What is it then? She cracks a smile but gives nothing away. Before you go, there's something you need to see. Well, what is it? Come with me. Candice takes me by the arm and leads me behind the bar, through a door and down a flight of stairs to the wine cellar. She reaches to an empty section of the wine rack and chooses a large sealed envelope. There's a chair over there. Take as much time as you need. She hands me the envelope and walks out over to the door. Candice turns back to me. She looks sad for a brief moment, but then smiles again. It's been fun. Thank you. Without other words, she turns once more, closing the door behind her. What is this strange letter we've just got on our hands then? Is it from the bartender or is it... Oh. Is it from Emmeline? Like the night after? Oh my god, it probably is. Oh no. I run my hand across its smooth surface, wondering what it is. Carefully I tear over the envelope and its seal. Inside are 3 smaller envelopes, each marked with 1976, 1987, and 2002. Oh. I start with the envelope labeled 1967. Inside is a letter, handwritten. The handwriting is excellent, unmistakably feminine. Hello, stranger. 2 nights ago you swooped into my life. You shared with me the best night of my life, and then you were gone, with more mystery than your arrival. For the few hours we spent together, all seemed to be right in the world, and all my cares had gone away. It was truly blissful. And then you left. So suddenly, so abruptly, you never even said goodbye. The magic dissipated instantly. My bliss shattered, leaving me only pain and confusion. That last night was shared. Why did we share? Why did you come into my life only to leave hours later? Please don't misunderstand me, dear stranger. I'm not angry. I hold nothing against you. I only wish to understand why that night happened. I was sure that we were both happy. But when you left, I began to have doubts. Had I done something wrong? Were you not happy as though I thought you'd be? Of course, thinking back to it now, it all seems a bit silly. It was one night, nothing gained and nothing lost. I'm sure you had your reasons for leaving. I'm glad it happened. I always remember it. However, dear stranger, should I ever see you again, though this seems doubtful, please help me understand what that night meant, and I have an aching desire to know. To be honest, I'm not sure that you'll ever read this letter, but take comfort in knowing that it will not matter if you read it or not. This letter doesn't really mean anything. All I have written here is just the result of one impossible yet undeniable experience, the ramblings of a young woman. My dear stranger, I wrote all this to ask for an explanation, but it's now clear to me that I will never receive one. You don't owe it to me, so please don't feel as though you do. I'm happy enough to keep the memories of that night precious without anything more. So, my stranger, although you never did say it yourself, I will say it now. Goodbye, stranger. Emmeline. Ah, this is gonna get sad now, because we're gonna read the next year's one where it's been forever and then she's all older and probably, well, not regretful, but you know what I mean. It took a few moments, but I eventually able to reach the second letter, dated 1987. I traced a finger over the now familiar script of Emmeline's handwriting before reading her words. Dear young man, I didn't want to believe it was you. Why would you return after just leaving me there? Your face was unmistakable. I'm sure you've heard the expression about not having aged a day. We usually reserve this for women too vain for the truth, or people who've recently had a plastic surgery. But in your case, you actually haven't. You looked exactly the same as all those years ago. I hadn't expected you to return after all you left me. For a while I was left to theorize and let my imagination run wild. What are you? Some kind of alien in human skin, a super advanced machine, a vampire? And then I remember one of those things that you talked about. The Legend of the Eternal Wanderer. At the time I dismissed it as drunken rambling. Then I saw you just yesterday. It had been 2 decades since I'd seen you. Memories fade. I had the first suspicions when I saw you with Michael. You were helping each other with the audio cables. You might not even be able to recognize it, but I saw. Clear admiration in your eyes. Admiration and more. Envy? I guess if you really were to live forever, you could never again know childlike wonder and curiosity like Michael could. Then I saw your reflection in the window as I was leaving. I recalled that time when you frolicked around the city in the snow in that moment, and I knew it was you. And now I know there's a matter of your cover. If you truly intend to work at the Hearth and Home, then I'll see you again. Believe me, the temptation is very real to reveal to you what you are. But what exactly would that solve? No, it's better to let bygones be bygones. I'll gain nothing by revealing you, and it'll just cause you to leave again. I'm sure you're used to that process by now. I considered asking you what occurred in your past travels. Who else did you meet? Anyone famous? How long have you been around? The things usually people would ask someone like you. But honestly, the numbers and faces of the past matter less than what you felt. I've been on the other side of it. Your emotions. I know what you felt. I admit that I hated you for a while after leaving me on that bench. But now I understand. I forgive you. I hope one day you'll find a place, or more likely a time, that you can flourish in. With as much loss as I experienced, yours can only be worse. I wish you the best, stranger. Sincerely, Emmeline. Right. Oh boy. Here we are, last letter. She signed her name in that familiar script. I can feel the pressure of tears welling my eyes now. I wish I could have spoken to her. If she knew who I was, then I could have apologized for leaving her alone on that frosty bench decades ago. Clearly she cared for me enough to reveal who I was to anyone. At the very least, I had the privilege of making that kind connection. The only connection I could ever truly establish. Oh boy. Here we go, lads. To you. I'll write to you once again. And this will be my last. I've grown old and feeble, but alas, you are just as I remember you from all those years ago. I'm sorry that you'll never be able to grow old. My life, my son, and my family, they have given me joy. Just as the night we spent together so long ago did. Candice has been filling in for me on all the fun I've been missing, so I'm grateful to her for that. I trust that she'll deliver these letters to you when the time is right. We've had our suspicions for a while now that you would probably leave Cedar soon. It always makes me sad thinking of your inevitable departure. It's kind of strange. We spent so little time together in our lives. It seems that time is so very different. I think that time is, that's what I'm supposed to say, never mind. I've lost my place. Oh, never mind. Over all the years, there hasn't been a single day I haven't thought back to the night where we first met. I never have been able to understand why, or it's just always meant a lot to me. I did recognize you when you came back in '87. No, not right away. I'm not really sure why I didn't ever say anything to you. I just never felt like there was a good time to say anything. You have lived 20 more years. I had gotten 20 years older. I got married and had Michael. Looking back, it was for the best that I did not say anything. It's a strange thing, the connection that we seem to have. I would say it's unique, but I can't say for certain whether that's true or not. The time you were part of my life was indeed brief. Without doubt, it has really changed my life. It changed my view of the world, and it changed how I see other people. I'm uncertain, but I think these changes were for the better, so I thank you. I want to thank you for leaving me that night. I enjoyed my normal life. I see now that this is all I could ever wanted. You saw that it was what I wanted long before I even wanted it. You showed me something special, and you gave me the chance to live a life that was mine. My dearest Wanderer, we weren't very good at goodbyes, are we? But this will be indeed our last. But I have grandchildren that I soon hope to meet. Excuse me. And you have a long road ahead of you, so I'll keep it brief. I want you to remember me who as I was to you will now always be. So goodbye now, my dear stranger, Wanderer. Travel safe, travel far, long and wide. And maybe in another life, in a different time, we will meet again. Ah, I'm speechless. I sit for a while stirring in my emotions. I feel empty, but in a good way. At the end, but in the best way. I feel complete. After I walk out the closet, I come across Candice alone. She's the only one left. The bar is empty, silent and calm, like the place out of a dream. Finished already? Yeah. You're leaving now? Candice. She begins to cry. Oh, you know what I have to do. She wipes her eyes with her dirtied hands. I know. There's silence for a moment before Candice draws in for a hug. She embraces me tightly. her trickling tears soaking the shoulder of my coat. She trembles, but only a little. I don't want you to go. I have to. You can't leave, we're all still here. I'm sorry. I pull myself away. Goodbye, Candice. I'll miss you. I'll miss you and everyone else. And this dark, old, dusty bar. And the sleepy town in the snow. I'll miss it. I'll miss you all. I will. Will you remember us? Always. Thank you. Oh, so sweet. You know, you were like family to us. To my dad, to me, to the bar, to the town. You really were. You want to remember that, okay? I gave Candice one last smile before I turned to the door. She goes back to sweeping, not wanting to watch me leave. She takes a deep breath. Tears drip from her eyes onto the floor. Okay. Once outside, I take a final stroll around the town. Cedar, Maine. At first glance, it all seems so asleep. Like it's not alive, but only lays there in a state of constant rest. That couldn't be more wrong. This town was more alive than any other I've seen. The white snow resting on the frozen ground glowed like the stuff of dreams. I've fallen in love over the years with this town, with this dream. But it's time to wake up. I walk away into the wilderness as the sun rises over the trees. I vanish like a ghost from this dream, wiping tears from my eyes. All I leave behind are footprints in the snow that are soon swept away by the winter wind. Of all the money that year I had, I spent in good company. Excuse me. And all the harm that year I've done, alas, I was done to none but me. And all I've done for what of wit to memory now I cannot recall. So fill me to the parting glass, good night and joy be with you all. So fill me to that parting glass, and drink a health whatever befalls. Then gently rise and softly call. Good night and joy be with to you all. Good gosh, can't read. Of all the comrades that year I had, they were sorry for my short away. And all the sweethearts that year I had, they wished me for me one day to stay. But since it falls onto my lot that I should rise while you should not, I will gently rise and I'll softly call. Good night and joy be with you all. Fare thee well, the story of a lonely man, a wanderer, a wayfarer, a stranger, and the sleepy town he left in the snow, one winter night. And that's the end of it, I believe. My oh my. Dedicated to Vocastar. Ah, lovely. Made within 2 weeks for the NaNoWriMo 2016. Wow, Jesus, that's a lot for 2 weeks. Right then. Ooh. Okay then, right. Gotta say some stuff about this story. It's beautiful, it's great, but it's a bit long-winded in some aspects. Like the repetition of certain things, like grows and grows and grows. You don't really need to say it like 3 times. Could you say and grows until like that? Music was good, that's for sure. Character designs were quite nicely done as well. The bartender was smaller than everyone else, so I did notice that though. Aside from that, this is not short at all. It's taken me like 2 hours to finish it. But either way, that's the only suggestion I'd change on your itch.io page. When you say short, I'm imagining like 20 minutes, not 3 times that. But no matter. That was it. Fare thee well. It is done at last. A great little story. One that I'm glad I did, despite my voice hurting a lot, but still. Great little story. So if you want to see about this game yourself, it's on itch.io, link in the description as always. I'm sure the developers are probably working on other new stories that'll be just as great as this one. So then, that was Fare Thee Well. Thank you all so kindly for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. See you later.